Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianne and this is Bree's Knits. And today I'm going to be going through my stash. I am filming close to sundown, which was a little silly, but I'm gonna try to get through this very quickly, but still not be too rushed. So yeah, I guess we should just get straight into it. This is something I had thought about doing, and then I was like, I don't know if anybody wants to watch that. Because, you know, like I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had that one. Or maybe, you know, like you get ideas for your stash, and I'm like, no, I need to not watch anybody else's because I need to go through what I have now. But at the same time, like it's nice to get ideas for other yarn, because obviously like we all have the yarn that we like, and like that's okay, you know, it depends on like whatever's good for your lifestyle. But yeah, mostly when I watch hauls, or not hauls, like stash, like what's in my stash videos, I usually start writing down yarns that I want to try, or I follow the yarn companies that are mentioned. Like recently, Francesca from an Italian knitter, she didn't post a haul video so much as she just posted like an Italian yarn brands video, and I definitely followed each of those brands because I thought they were pretty nice yarns. So there was that. But yeah, basically I'm just going to go through my stash. I thought about going through with like my iPad, but I'm just going to show you what I have in my container right now. And then I'll probably have to film again with some other stuff, or I'll just go get them really quickly if the light is still permitting. Or I'll just bring out my light that I have, because I have a light that I can put on top of my camera. But without further ado, let's get started. Actually, let me just grab a thumbnail real quick. Okay, so to start with, I do have a few skeins. I have 4 skeins of this, I believe. It is of Sorella yarn. Honestly, Sorella yarn is like my absolute favorite yarn company. I think I bought some just on a whim, just to try it, because I saw it going around on Instagram, and I have fallen in love ever since. I feel like the colors that just get developed are like always what's in my mind, you know, like I feel like the team there is just like, I don't know, like I love saying, I don't know how to say it, but I absolutely love the color developments, like what ends up being their end product. Do I get from every single collection? No, because while I would like to at least get one, I'm also like need to be conscious of how I'm spending my money. And also I don't want to just purchase it because I'm like, ooh, pretty colors, you know, like I don't knit that fast. Like there are definitely people that knit quickly, that if I knit that fast, sure. But I don't. So I had to be kind of conscious about it. But I did buy this when it was the Autumn in New York collection. The colorway is Brick. Because it is getting a little darker, I missed my opportune time when there was a lot of light. There's just a lot of stuff happening, but it's the Brick colorway. If you would like to see it, and it's like as true form as you can get, you can try to take a look on Sorella's Instagram. She tries her best to always make sure that she gets pretty good pictures of it, so that way you can see the true color. But it's a beautiful like brown red, I mean it's a brick color, and I feel like it's pretty true to the brick color. This was something that I had been looking for such a long time. This is one of my favorite colors actually, so I love this color. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, 1000%. And I've been wanting to make an all over cable sweater, so I have the sweater number 15 that this is going to be in. I need to make a swatch, so I actually had wound up some yarn for it. So this is what I have so far. That's my first showing. of that yarn. I also, going on along with Sorella, is this Stellina, sock Stellina yarn. It's also from Autumn in New York. It is the Bistro color. It's got like silver specks in it. I forgot what I was going to make with it. I think maybe an Athelian vest. That's probably what it was going to be, honestly. I just don't have a mohair to go with it, and I probably should get it. Also, I didn't say what the bases were. This one is the cashmere sock. I think from what I'm seeing, a lot of the cashmere socks have more yardage to them, so I've been getting the cashmere socks mostly because of the yardage for the price. But it's 80% wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon for the brick. And then the Stellina is 75 wool, superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, and 5% gold. Oh, it's gold Stellina, actually. Yeah. And then it has 438 yards per 100 grams, which is kind of the perfect amount just for a small vest. And then this one was 435 yards for 100 grams. And this feels like honestly super soft, and I love it. I'm gonna like end up talking too much about this when I'm supposed to just go through my stash. This one is from Dye Studio. It's a Californian yarn company. I saw them at the SoCal Fiber Festival in November. I actually purchased a yellow yarn from them. I was trying to match up the color because I'm making my Daphne's cardigan with that yellow. And this one, like on the monitor, looked very similar, but I know with hand-dyed yarn, like depending on the lot, you can get different colors coming through. Because like when I open this up a little bit, like on the screen, this is exactly how it looks. It looks orange. Granted, the colorway name is Carnelian Orange. But sometimes like when you open it up, like you kind of start looking on the inside of the hank, kind of like it kind of has like the same variation. The only thing I didn't like about the Dye Studio booth is that with all of their minis, they didn't have colorway names attached to them. Like there were no labels, they were just plain minis, which I guess is how some of them work, but it was just kind of it's difficult. Like if I want to go back and purchase more, I can't find the same color. Like these are not the same color. I want to believe that there are sections in here that might be, but if not too, like I think that'll be fine. I might just have to sparse out the yellow a little bit more, like just like random strips of yellow, because I do like it still. And I really like the quality of it. Even if I can't use it in the Daphne's one, I'll probably still make something of it. Maybe a pair of socks or a hat. I do think it's still a beautiful color. It's just not, maybe I didn't match it as well as I thought. And there is no other yellow on her Etsy page that looked similar. It was more like this was as close to one of the variations of orange in here. But this one, if you can see, let's see if it'll focus, is more like yellow, orange, brown tones in it that give it like a really nice depth. Whereas this one is just more orange than yellow, which again, like the name, it's in the name, it's Carnelian Orange. But like part of me wants to just see like the specks of brown, but there really isn't. So I have that now. And I mean, it's still beautiful. Like I said, it's in the Best Friend fingering weight base. It is 75% superwash blue face luster and 25% nylon. So it would be perfect for a sock. So that might just turn into some socks. And I will be okay with that because it's still a very beautiful yarn. It's just silly me. I probably should have just contacted the seller and been like, hey, do you still have this one? I'm trying to match it as close as possible. But like I said, it's fine. And plus, yeah, I already have an orange for the Daphne's. It'll be fine. Let me keep going. Anyway, I also have some mohair to go along with that brick color for the sweater number 15. This is Drops Kid Silk Mohair and the number 36. I think online I saw it called Bordeaux. I bought it from Wool Warehouse. So if you just look at that, this is the color, I think it's Bordeaux. It's pretty close match. I wanted to purchase the Surrey or the mohair for it, but that just gets really expensive after a while. So I'm just, Drops is fine. it's a fine addition to it. So I have about 6 balls of this. I think I'll probably end up with extra afterwards, which is fine because I kind of also have my eyes on the Augustine's, the headband pattern, because I actually do really like headbands, so I would like to have some for that. Next up is another Stellina base, and it is of course from Sandnes Garn. Again, all-time favorite. And then when she came out with her like summer yarns, like the silk sock and the silk DK base, once I saw the silk DK base, I was like, okay, I need to get a silk DK base so I can make a Tulsa tee in a color that I really like. But actually she's coming out with her winter ballet collection, and I'm like, please, I love it. Like, I love some of the blues, I love the black. The Misty Copeland gray is nice, but I don't think it's for me. It's like a little too cool tone, but it's beautiful. Anyway, this is not that. This is the Gold Rush colorway. I believe this was part of the Taylor Swift collection from like a while ago. It is 75 superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. It's a beautiful, like, just golden, like there's some bits of brown in it too. I believed that this one was also going to be an Athelian vest, but the mohair I got for it from Drops was very disappointing. It definitely did not match. I don't know if I actually thought it matched or if the color just came in and it was like way off from the monitor color that I thought. But I don't know what to do with it anymore. I only have one skein. Again, it's 438 yards for 100 grams. I could just make it into some fun sparkly socks. I'll show you the mohair. Like, we will see it. We will go through it and you'll see it looks absolutely nothing like it would match at all. Next few bits here. Sorry, I see like some loose yarn and I'm trying to wound it up a little bit. Okay, so I have a fair few donuts or balls of Cascade 220 superwash merino, superwash wool. It is this beautiful color, but on the label it just says color 343. I bought it on Wool Warehouse as well. I think it was like grape wine on there. It is a DK base. So I was using this to make, I'm using this. I have like, I think 7 balls of it left. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put these down. Hold on. 5, 6, 7. Oh, actually, I might have 8. Yeah, I have 8 balls of it left. Plus, it's like 8 1/4 maybe left of this yarn. Hold on, it got all tangled up with another yarn. Ain't that the way it always goes? Come on. And this much plus this, however much this is. I need to wound it up again. I was using this for my husband's Moby sweater. I purchased the same yarn for my son's Moby sweater because they were supposed to be matching. That is no longer gonna happen. If there's extra, like maybe I can make a Moby Junior because my husband's not gonna grow like out of the sweater anytime soon. So I can probably just do that. And then that way my son they can actually match eventually. But what ended up happening was I didn't realize the weights of the men's size and the baby size were way different. The baby's was DK and the men's version is supposed to be an Aran weight. So I actually just went in with it for the men's sizing with there's just a regular 4mm needle. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But before I continued with the back yoke, I was like, let me just measure it and like use this as my swatch. And yeah, no, it was like 1/2 inch off. And I was like, you know what? It's worth ripping it out so he has something that actually fits. And it's not like the first sweater I made him where I had to block it to the gods and hope that it fits him. So I am going to go back in and start it all over with the 4.5mm needle because that will actually meet gauge. If he wore it, it wouldn't be that bad, but it just wouldn't be like the intended ease. Plus I'm making it in an extra small. I could just go in and probably make a medium with the size 4, but I'm just gonna, you know, the cable work, yes, it's a lot, but it's not as much as if I did the whole back panel already, you know? So anyway, I have about 8 balls of yarn plus a little bit extra for my husband's Moby sweater. And that's all the intended use for that. I'm going to be doing it slowly throughout the year, so it's gonna be there for a while. Next, oh wait, actually 7, 8. Okay, I have 8 balls of that specific drops color. And for the next one, I'm also already using it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 skeins of Double Sunday from Sandnes Garn, and it's the petite knit colors. This is the colorway Almond. I'm using this for my Daft Days cardigan as the main color. It is a nice cream color. It's kind of got like more of an off-white color tone to it. I have wanted to try Sandnes Garn for a while, but I didn't really know anyone other than a store that's not really that local to me. They're like an hour and a half away. They sell Sandnes Garn, but because of my work schedule and all of that, I wouldn't be able to go out when they're open. And because they're far too, like it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But I happened to just look up Sandnes Garn and online, and Ritual Dyes was having a sale on them. So I was like, let me just get enough. I think I got more than what I needed for the cardigan. I just purchased a little bit extra because I do want to make the Stella quilt cushion, and I do like this color in general. So I got a little bit extra. I saw those twins who knit. They had mentioned this specific color with some of their sweaters. I was like, I love that color. I love how it looks worked up. So I got some, and it was really nice. I think it was like $3 less than the usual price. So I was like, let me just get like, I think maybe 3 skeins more than what I actually need. It is a DK weight base, and it is I forgot who it was that said they had issues with their gauge because of how like springy and stretchy it is. Because sometimes you can just stretch it while you're knitting, and then sometimes you don't. So could cause some problems. However, I like when I knit, I like tug the string really tight too. So I haven't noticed an issue as much for me as far as that goes, but I mean, who knows? I've only really like knit up 3 rows. That could change. But that's something, again, that's already spoken for, and I'm already in the process of making it. So there's that. I also have, I'm trying to see what's like the least obnoxious to take out, but here we go. Oh, wait, it wasn't drops. The yarn that I was mentioning that I was going to use with this, it is actually Knitting for Olive. Again, I don't know what I was thinking when I ordered it. Maybe I had like my screen light down or something, but it is this dark mustard mohair. And I had intended on pairing it with this beautiful golden number, even though this yarn or this mohair is very like, I feel like it's very deceiving because in this light, it almost looks like it could go with, no. Yeah, this is definitely like a darker brown undertone versus this is very like bright. And even with the brown that's under it, it's so golden. Like the difference, yeah, no, I don't like, I personally, it would be fine, but I feel like the dark mustard would mute the golden color in this so much that I just don't think it would, I don't want to do that. Basically, like I want this yarn to shine through on its own. So either I get a different mohair so I can make another Athelian vest, or I just try to figure out something else to do with only 438 yards. So the next thing I want to bring out, because I think the color is very beautiful, is this color. It's a sapphire. It's called Sapphire. It's from Super Glow Fiber. This is also a company that I I've seen her on Instagram and followed her for a while, but I got the yarn at the SoCal Fiber Festival. This is in the base sock number 1. It's 463 yards for 100 grams, and it is a 75% superwash merino wool with 25% nylon. It's honestly super beautiful. Super Glow Fibers has a lot of bright colors. I've been wanting to like purchase something from them before, but I've never really liked a lot of like the highlighter yellow colors. But when I saw the blue, I was like, I must have it. I believe my intention for this one is the Mock Tank by Jessie May. So there's that. And I only have one, so it has to work. Otherwise, I would be really sad. Maybe just make another tank top. But yeah, this is intended for a tank top. Next up, I'm trying to see like what won't get me coughing again. Let's see. So I actually have a few donuts of Wool and the Gang Feel Good yarn in the color Forest Green. I believe my intention with this was supposed to be the Made You Look top, the fall version, which is made with the Feel Good yarn. But after a while, I was like, I don't think I really want that top anymore. So my thought is potentially to make the largest Sophie shawl size with this because it's very soft, and gift it to somebody for Christmas. I think it would be a really nice gift actually, or I might just keep it myself because I still love the color. It's just that I don't want to use it for garment anymore. Or on the flip side, I also have about a full skein of the same yarn. The same yarn of, actually, yeah. I have about 2 full skeins of the Feel Good yarn in brown sugar left. Actually, I don't think it's 2 full skeins. It's almost completely full. But I have 2 in the brown sugar. And I had thought about maybe doing a half and half. It's almost like the half and half triangles wrap, but instead of doing that pattern, I would just do the Sophie shawl because the weight is an Aran weight, I believe, unless it classifies it as just a worsted weight. I think it's a worsted weight yarn. But anyway, I was just going to maybe just work up the biggest size of the Sophie shawl work up to about as much as I can with the brown sugar, and then work the rest in the forest green, and then gift that to somebody, kind of have someone in mind already for that, and then make another one with this, with whatever yardage I have left, and then keep that for myself. But that is definitely an option that I'm still up in the air about, you know. So it's like either make a really gigantic one with all 4 of them, or do half and half of the brown sugar, the green, and then a smaller version of this one. So, and because the Feel Good yarn is so soft too, like the content of the yarn is 70% alpaca, 7% merino, and 23% nylon. It's very, very soft. And I think it's very, like, they can upkeep it on their own to whoever I give it to. And then it also is 142 yards per 50 grams. So I really do think I could get a really decent shawl size out of it. And garter stitch, it's like very classic. And with the I-cord edging, I think it'll be a really nice gift for anybody. And I think now, like, after I've been on this journey for a while, people are kind of starting to see like the value of my work. So I feel like the gifts aren't gonna, I don't know, I guess that's always been like a fear of mine, of like people thinking like, because I made it, like, you know, like girl math, like because you made it, it's free. So it's like cheap, but obviously it's not cheap. Like you think about the materials that you purchase and all of that jazz. And even if it was like cheaper yarn, like it's a lot of work that you put in it, and a lot of like time and skill learning and skill extending and all of that stuff. So I don't know. I'm just like starting to feel a little bit more confident about giving handmade things for people that I think are deserving of it, without sheepishly being like, I made it for you. Like, I hope you like it and appreciate it. Like, no, I know the value it is. So I'm like, there you go. If you don't recognize it, that's on you. Give it back to me. And then, you know, or like, just let me know that you don't want it. And then I know for the future. And everybody else gets to have my lovely gifts and you get to miss out. That's just how I see it. And that's just a fact in my opinion. Anyway, the next ball of yarn that I have is a very massive ball of yarn. It is the Noro yarn. It is a worsted weight yarn. The intention for this one was a June top, but then I saw that the weight, I believe, is for DK. I could probably pull it off with this. It does say it's a worsted weight, but I don't know. I'll have to definitely gauge swatch. But the intention was to make it a June top by Petite Knit. It's very beautiful though, and I love the colors. I love the color variation. I think it's fun. And I believe, how many yards are in this? It is, my camera cut me off. Anyway, it's a lot of yardage. Oh, okay. It's 480 meters per 200 grams, which I cannot do math, but it's 480 meters. So there you go. It's definitely enough for at least a tank top. So this is that. The content is 20% silk, 26% silk, 21% cotton, 15% viscose, 14 mohair, 12 wool, and 12% polyamide. So I think it would actually be pretty good for summer too. And it's my first Noro yarn too, guys. So that's pretty exciting, at least to me anyway. Let's see what else I have here. Okay, so for the next yarn, I have Knitting for Olive. It is just the regular merino in Dusty Rose. This one was also an accidental purchase based on poor lighting, I guess. I bought these when I was doing the Cargill test knit, and I purchased a couple of these. And when I knitted up in my sweater, I was like, this is like a completely different color. Like, it's not a matter of batch or dye numbers. It was literally just a completely different color. from what I had already gotten. I forgot. I think that one was like mouse pink or something. I forgot, but it was definitely like not the same. This is more like a purplish pink. The other one is like a very true powdery pink. Again, the lighting's not the greatest right now, so it's kind of hard to see the true. I mean, I feel like that's actually pretty accurate. It's more like a lilac pink. Like has like a lighter purple undertone to it. Versus the other one is more of powder pink. So I have a couple of skeins of this. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with it, seeing as it's just, I believe it's just 100% extra fine merino. So if you guys have any idea what to do with 2 full skeins, please let me know. I am accepting ideas. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? I hope this isn't like too boring. That was like one of my hesitations of making this video. But anyway, on to the next few skeins. I got 3 Knitting for Olive merino donuts in Dusty Sea Green. I got this as a gift for my birthday recently. My aunts got it. They're so great. Literally every time I'm just like, I just want yarn. They'll get me yarn. If I tell anybody else that, I mean, they do still get it, but it's like very few people will actually get me yarn. I think it's because they think like, because I have to like work on it, it's not really a gift, but it is a gift. Like that's, I don't know, I get so much joy out of it. Anyway, so this is the Dusty Sea Green. Let me see, let me show you. It's a beautiful neutral green color. I honestly forgot what my intention was behind this. I'll probably just end up looking up what I already have in my library or in my favorites with the amount of yardage that I have and see what I can make with it. Maybe I had intended it to be a Tulsa tee, like just the fingering weight version, but I'm not sure if I would have enough yardage. I feel like I got 4 skeins, but I can't find, maybe I only got, I think I only got 3, which is fine. I think that's more than enough for something. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet though, but it's nice that they're here. They've been welcomed into the fold. It's definitely a later project, like for the later half of the year. The next yarn are also Knitting for Olive, but it's the Pure Silk. I've been wanting to try the Pure Silk. I have yet to try it. This was also a gift from my aunts for my birthday. It is the Deep Petroleum Blue. This I have purchased My Favorite Things Knitwear, one of the tank tops. I forgot which one it was. It's the ribbed one that everyone made, but I believe this should be enough. If not, I have a ton of Jessie May patterns I can also use for it. But yeah, it's just the Pure Silk. Pretty standard. Everybody's talked about it now, I feel like. But if you don't know, it is 250 meters for 50 gram balls. So fingering weight yarn. It's 100% pure silk, as the name suggests. There are definitely other colors I want to try, but this is also a very nice, like fashion neutral color. And I can't wait to see if I like it or not. I know now, as I've knitted for a few years, that plant fibers do split. So I don't think I'll let that get to me, but I wonder what the experience will be like knitting it up. I do want to try some more plant fibers, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's the intention for these yarns. Let's see. Okay, so I have these two as well. My aunts, same aunts who purchased the Knitting for Olive, brought me back some yarn from Canada when they went, I believe they went to Vancouver. This is Yoriko Oki yarns. It is their Donegal base. It's a fingering weight base. It's in the colorway Evergreen. It is 85% superwash wool, 15% nylon, and is 438 yards per 100 grams. It's a beautiful grain. I absolutely love it. I absolutely adore. I think, let me see, I'm not really good with math, so I'm trying to see if I can make something with it. 438, 876 yards. I'm not really sure what I can make with it. Usually I have, honestly, like, I am a sucker for tweed sweaters. I love tweed sweaters. I just haven't made one yet because sometimes, like, there's the Knit Picks tweed and I'm not really a big fan of it. I like the hedgehog fiber tweed, but I feel like that's definitely an investment and I have to really know what I want to make with it. I don't know what I want to make with it yet. But when my aunts brought this back, I was like, beautiful, amazing. It's a wonderful tweedy yarn. It's got like the browns in there too with the beautiful like pine green color. But for 876 yards, I don't know what I'm going to make yet. We'll have to see, wait and see in the future. Maybe a vest, I don't know, but it's beautiful. If you guys have any ideas of what I can make with it, please let me know. I'll go ahead and take a look too on my Ravelry. I actually have all my stuff, like my stash that I have here on my Ravelry, so I'll be able to like compare to or get ideas there as well. Let's see. Okay. So I have, this one is from Explorer Knits and Fibers. It is called Untamed. I believe it's from their Into the Wild collection. I can't remember how long ago though. But it is their Denali sock base. It's 80% superwash merino, 20 nylon, 400 yards per 100 grams. I actually already used, I think I only got 3 skeins of this, and I used 1 and a bit for my flutter butt shirt. So I have a full skein left and then a little bit more. I know I have the yardages on my Ravelry, but my iPad is not near me, so I can't tell you the exact yardage, but I believe it's like about 50 grams in here, maybe more, maybe 75. Maybe I'll write it on the screen, but I know I have a good bit left. I had thought about making my baby the Friday sweater for like the baby sweater for Valentine's Day, because I thought this would be so cute, and I have a lighter pink that I will show you guys right now. But I didn't get to it obviously, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll just make myself a Friday, maybe like shirt in this pink with a lighter pink. Because that could be really cute. I like this pink. I think it just like complements my skin really well. I don't know. I love it. What can I say? So this one has no plans yet. Worst comes to worst, I just always make socks. I feel like I'm a sock girly now, but that will be for a podcast episode. But I love it. If not, I could probably make like a striped Tolsta or something, but I don't even have the pattern and I'm over here. What? Did I buy it? I can't recall. Anyway, but this is what I have. So there's ideas there of what I can or can't do. So since I brought up the other light pink, I'll just go ahead and show you guys that one really quickly. Is this the only one I have? I guess so. Oh no, here we go. So this is leftover from a project I made when I first started knitting. I made one of my friends a paysan blouse by Fabma Knitwear, and I made it in this beautiful ballet pink. It is the Debbie Bliss Rialto. It is 100 and okay, so this one I believe was the full skein, and I believe it was 197 yards. The second one, I think it's about the same. So I have this much left. That's why I was thinking I could potentially make something striped here with the amount that I do have left. But I'll have to do the math again. I know I did it, like I weighed them all. I have it on my Ravelry. I just can't recall it off the top of my head. And I think my iPad's charging, so I can't really take a look right now. But these were the idea of making a Friday sweater for a baby, or maybe a Friday shirt, or just a stripy shirt, because I think that would be really cute. Anyway, on to the next one. On the theme of pink, I have a few skeins of DK. So I know for a while, like when we all started using the the fingering weight with the mohair as like a more economic solution to be able to get hand-dyed yarn in sweater quantities, I was like, you know what? Sometimes I don't want mohair. Like, hot take. No, I'm just kidding. That's probably not a hot take. But sometimes, I do like I like the knitting experience of knitting with mohair, but I do also just like the look. I mean, like everybody else does, obviously I'm not like special in this idea of like, why I don't want to always hold things double. Sometimes I'll just splurge and get the DK in the sweaters quantity. And I think that's the part that's hard. It's because obviously the heavier the weight, the less yardage. So that's kind of like where it hits the most. And that's kind of what I've done before, like with the brick. Like I really love the color, but the amount of yardage I would have needed for all over cable sweater just going to be too much money for me to be able to justify in my head. So, I mean, while I'm showing you all the yarn I have, whatever, I don't know, nothing makes sense to me. But basically, I'm just saying, like, there was a project I did think about doing that, like the holding things double, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go and get the DK base, because I think I'm in my not holding things double all the time era, and that's okay. Like, and I'm not even saying that to you, I'm probably just saying that more for me. And it's silly, I know it's silly, it sounds so stupid because it's like, why, whatever. Anyway, this is the way I'm gonna craft and that's the end of it. Anyway, as I will probably continue holding things double, but like I'm just letting myself know, like, it's okay to pay a little bit more to have the quality that you want, but also like the experience that you want. You know what I mean? I'm just assuring myself. I'm not trying to say anything to anybody else. Anyway, so I have another Sorella purchase because I love Sorella yarn, and she is someone I can justify buying more yarn from. This is the classic DK base in 100% superwash merino wool. It's 231 yards per 100 grams. And I have 5 skeins of this because that's a sweater's quantity for me. It is a beautiful, it's the color boulangerie. I don't know if that's how you say it, but there it is. It's a beautiful ballet pink. It's got some depth to it where it's like a bit brighter. I probably won't be able to pick it up too well in the camera. It's not super pale. It's got like a bit of a, I don't know how I would describe it, like a sweetness to it. Like there's a darker, not darker, it's more like it's like a ballet pink with a bit of brightness to it, if that makes sense. Like this, I feel like is definitely like a true ballet pink color, even though it's getting super washed out in the light. But this has a little bit more depth to it, as most hand-dyed tonals do. This one is specifically for the Nutcracker jumper. I have been talking about this on my channel for some time. I just have yet to get to it. So here we are. Yes, this is intended for a Nutcracker jumper by Fablo Knitwear. When I saw this yarn, that was like the only thing I had in my mind to make. So that is exactly what this is going to be used for. I'm actually thinking about something about this year makes me want it. Like I have chaotic cast on energy, but I do not have the time to be constantly just busting out knitting. maybe if I created like a schedule, but then part of me, once I get to like an extra, like a, I mean, I think everybody gets that way. Like when you're almost to the end of a project, you just want to monogamously knit on it until you're done. And that's exactly how I am always, constantly. Like I want my Daft Days cardigan, but at the same time, I'm almost done with my second sock, and I just want to get through that. So that's just how I've been. That's my crafting journey. I don't knit fast, and that's okay. And I have all this yarn that I need to get through, but I have a purpose for it. So I feel okay about that. I will get there eventually. It's a slow craft, you know. It is what it is. And on the note of sweater quantities, I have a cropped sweater quantity of an Ultra Alpaca Light Barocco yarn. Here we are. It is in the color, where is it? 4268. Yeah, that's literally the color, is 4268. It is this beautiful orange color. It's got like specks of yellow in there. It's definitely got like depth and dimension. There's some definite fluff action happening. The content is just 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool, and it is a DK base. Like I said, beautiful orange color. I think I had purchased 3 a while ago. I was going to make a onesie for my son, but then because of the fluff, like I felt really uncomfortable making that for him as like a newborn, and he's growing and he's so tall already, and there's just like no way. So I went back to my local yarn store and I purchased another one. And I believe with the amounts, let me see, it is 146 yards per 50 grams. So I believe I can bust out a cropped sweater. I had in mind a diagonally jumper by Fabo Knitwear because I have, well, not have to, but I'm going to be frogging my green one. But I really do like the sweater construction. I love the design of it. So I'm thinking about utilizing this as yarn for another version of this beautiful orange color. Because if I didn't, I really wouldn't know what to make with it, but I do think it would be a really nice diagonally jumper. So there's that. Let's continue. This is all still in one container. Everything's just all mixed together. So let's go on. I have another Sorella yarn. If you saw my frogging video of the projects I plan on frogging, my Allery blouse has a funny demarcation line, and I purchased this with the intention of when I ripped it back, I can make it again and make it with one single Surrey color. So that is the intention there. That's it, really. Nothing else to say. It's the colorway Lodge by Sorella, just Surrey lace. It says lace. It acts more as a fingering weight once you're done with it. But it is 74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk, 328 yards per 50 grams. So that is what that looks like. It's a very I feel like very cool toned green, but it's beautiful. It's nice. The next one I have on that, speaking on that top, is this Manos del Uruguay in the Marina base, I believe. And I think the color is called Arboretum. It is a lace weight merino wool. I think it's like something like 600 yards. I have most of this cake. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe if I just have this is just always going to be extra yarn I have. And if I need to add a lace weight to something that I don't want mohair to, then I will utilize this. And then whatever I get from my Allery blouse, once I frog it and like get the courage to frog it, I will have that extra bit. It's probably something like maybe 20 grams, maybe. So yeah, I have that. It's like it's green with some blue mixed in there. But yeah, that's all I really have. Don't have much else to say about that. Okay, let's continue. So I have a few random bits of Drops Kid Silk. My husband got this for me. I think he said I had this on my yarn list. I don't know why I have so many different colors, but I did. So I have these colors. I don't know what else to say about it, but this is color number 42. This one is color 05. And this one is 31. I think when I input it on Ravelry, it said mauve or something like that. I mean, these two together are beautiful. I just wanted to mix something together for like headbands or I found because, okay, a lot of my headbands that I purchased were from Target, and recently one of them just decided to like split open at the ends. So that wasn't nice. So I was looking at headband patterns, and there's one where it's just mohair and it's like the scrunchy like crown headbands. I'll probably put a picture here of what that pattern looks like. It's really cute and I think I could pull it off. But yeah, I don't know what I'd do with this. Maybe the same thing and give it to a friend. I have a friend that wears headbands and she looks absolutely adorable in them. So maybe I make her a headband too. So those are my random Drops yarns. I also have a couple more. I think my intention with these were to make a, what do you call it? Was to make a design with them, and I wanted to try out different Drops yarns, but I didn't intend for other people to buy them for me. They were just on my list as like ones I wanted to eventually try to see if I like it enough to make something out of. So I have a Drops Baby Merino mix. It's color number 39. It's a beautiful lilac color, but there's only about 191 yards for 50 grams, and this is the only one I have. So I don't really know what I'm going to make with that, but we shall see. And I also have this Baby Alpaca Silk by Drops. It feels very nice, very luxurious. It is a, what is it? I believe it's a fingering weight yarn or sport weight. It's 183 yards per 50 grams. And it's 70% alpaca, 30% silk. It's very beautiful. Colorway 4088. It's a beautiful purple color. I love the sheen on it. I think it was the same thing with this one. I think I intended it to try it out, and my husband just bought it for me. So, and he had asked no questions. We love that them, don't we, folks? Anyway, yeah, I have this in my stash too. What I will make with it, I have no idea, because like I said, it's 108. Well, I don't know if I said it's 183 yards. So I don't know what I can do with it. Maybe for some colorway socks, like Stone Knits has like a lavender sock, and I love lavender, so that would be perfect for that. Next up, I have this Ramagan in it may be like vintage rose color. It is the alpaca lin. I have about a sweater's quantity. I had the intention of making the Mohair Intentions cardigan by Ocean Knits, But as I like sat on it a little bit more, I didn't really want it, so I didn't buy the pattern. But now I have all of this beautiful yarn left. I believe I had mentioned in my last video with frogging the green sweater that I have with the same yarn that I might just do an Italian shawl. And by that I mean Francesca, an Italian knitter, has free patterns for an Italian summer shawl, I believe, or Italian winter shawl. This yarn is classified as a size 4, so Aran weight yarn. And I just don't have that much for Aran weight patterns. I had thought about, worst comes to worst, maybe a ranunculus, because I feel like that's almost like a knitting must have. I don't know. Like, obviously I can create the way I want to create, but I don't know how I would want a ranunculus with such fluffy yarn. You know what I mean? Potential for a cumulus blouse, maybe. But yeah, I'm still up in the air. I'm really thinking maybe just an Italian winter shawl could be good for like summer nights. I think honestly that might be the move. So that's everything I have there. Let me see. All right, we're almost done with this container. I have these 5 skeins of white, off-white drops kid silk mohair. I believe my intention with this was to make the mod blouse by Fable Knitwear. Beautiful blouse pattern. I haven't bought it yet, but when I do get there, I believe I want to use this one for that, because that pattern is just so beautiful. I want it. I think she also has the Lucrezia. I don't know why I can't say it. Blouse. So beautiful. I don't know if it's in English yet, but I'm prepared. I also have about the same amount in a purple color. Let me get them all out. Actually, I have 5 in this color. I believe I also had the intention of a Fable Knitwear design for this as well. I can't recall anymore, but worst comes to worst, I have enough for a sweater or a shirt or a blouse. So I have this in stash. I don't recall what I was going to make with it though, because it's kind of a bit of a cool tone purple that I'm not sure will fare well with me. So I'm not sure anymore about what I'm going to do with this. So that will just be in my stash. I also have a bit of this powdered rose yarn left. I also believe it is Drops Kid Silk mohair. So there's that still left in stash. I have some. I do have more. I think I have 2 more donuts of this shiny happy cotton. I got cut off again. Anyway, I do believe that I have 2 more hiding somewhere. So a total of 3 skeins of the Wool in the Gang shiny happy cotton. I had purchased enough to make a design with, but then once I started working it up, I was like, you know what? It's too heavy for what I'm thinking about. Like the idea was there, I went for it, but it just wasn't gonna work out. So what I ended up doing was I ripped it back, kind of. I did find part of the project in a bag pushed away in the back of my closet, but it's still there. So I might just make more market bags. I did make one for my sister-in-law. It was the Etta bag by Paula Street. It is a very nice pattern. I love it. It calls for just 1 strand of Aran weight yarn. And I have enough of this. I made, this is in the eucalyptus green, by the way. I made, I think it's called the Vacation Vest by Parker Knit. Park Knit? I'll have it. But I made that last year and I really love it. But I just don't need another one. So I'll probably just end up making more market bags with this yarn. let's see what else I have. I've shown these yarns before, but I will show them again. I have the Explorer Knits and Fibers Ireland collection. So the first one, they're all in the Cashmere Cavern sock base, again, because of how much yardage came in them. This one is My Goodness. It is the pair, the variegated pair to My Guinness. I'm actually making my husband a pair of socks in My Guinness, and maybe I can make myself a pair in My Goodness, or I can just make him another pair in My Goodness. That'd be so cute to have both of them next to each other. So it's a beautiful brown variegated yarn. Ooh, the light is like coming in at such a nice angle. But it's beautiful. I love it. It's fun. Now that I'm knitting socks, I really like knitting them. So these will likely be socks. This one is the Killarney National Park. It is a beautiful green variegated, it's like green base with pink and browns and some yellow in there. It was going to be between this or my Irish Heather that I was going to make the Daphnes cardigan in. I will likely use, I don't know what I'm going to use this for, honestly. I did end up using the Irish Heather for the cardigan. I made that decision at the SoCal Fiber Festival, but I'm using that one for that. This one, I have no idea. It's such a beautiful yarn. I love it. I want to use it in like such a big way, but I don't know what to do with it because I only have 435 yards. Maybe just a simple sock, but also like I don't want to ruin it, if that makes sense. I don't know, like something about it has just captivated me in such a real way that I don't want to mess with it. I'm trying to like make sure that the camera focuses, but the light isn't even capturing this that well. But it's so beautiful. I love it. If you guys have any ideas for a special project for this, let me know. The next one is Murphy's Brown Bread. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful cream color with some brown specks in it. Very light and airy. I could definitely see this being a really nice beanie or hat. So I love it. I think it's cute. I don't know if it would go with the, maybe it would with the mustard. Maybe as a beanie. I think it would pair really nice together. It's like a really nice, luxurious beanie. And then I have the Cliffs of Moher. Cliffs of Moher. It is a moody green blue color. Let me see. Oh, I realized it's not even focusing. There we are. It's got like a blue gray tone to it. I had also thought about making this like an inspiration to center a Daphnes cardigan around, like getting like a nice heather gray as like the base or the main color. The light is atrocious. I am so sorry. But like I had Irish, like, why can't I say things? A gray heather as a base with this as one of the stripes or like the only stripe going through it. I just think it's a really, again, it's just like Allie, it's just like to be in her mind, because sometimes like when she comes out with these collections, they're like such special yarn that I feel like there is nothing else I can do except stare at it. But I definitely want to work it up. It is a contender for socks too, but like, let me just pull you guys over here. Okay, there we go. A little bit better. It's a contender for socks. But even as I'm making up the socks I'm making for my husband right now, he's like, I'm never gonna wear them. They are too nice. I'm like, they're meant to be worn. But it has like some bits of yellow in there too, actually. Well, maybe it was just an error, but it's mostly green and blue with like hints of, that looks odd. I had opened it a little bit at the bottom so I could get a better view of the colors, so I can see exactly what I wanted to work with. But it is beautiful. Such a special yarn. But yeah, like I said, I've yet to know what I'm gonna do with it. On to the next. It's the Giant's Causeway yarn. That's so special. Again, another special one. It's a beautiful like light blue with a dark gray going through it and some cream. I went to the Giant's Causeway when I went to Ireland with my aunt and my uncle. And it was such a fun experience. Like, I was cold and I was getting wet, but I don't know what it was about that area. It just felt like it invigorated me, and don't know why I'm getting emotional right now, but it just felt so reinvigorating standing there, and I loved it. And just having it in like a skein form just makes me feel so, I don't know, like privileged. It almost feels like you're just holding the memory here constantly. And I know that there's the Irish knitting tour, and I would eventually, you know, one day I would love to go on that tour, like the knitting tours, because I feel like there's just so much more. I wasn't a knitter when I went, and just to have like yarn from there is just like to hold such special memories. I don't know. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. I had potentially thought about making socks for my sister in this, but she only likes wearing short socks. So you know what? This is too special. Sorry if she's watching, but it is too special. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it either. Maybe I'll make a shawl or something with it, because it is so special to me. Like, I had even thought, instead of making the mod blouse, like pairing these two together, to have like that contrast of like the light mohair with this and a shawl, to just make it something unique and special, so that way like the cream doesn't overpower it and it can still shine through, but I can have something beautiful at the end of it. Like kind of like my turtle dove shawl, like I feel kind of not bad, but a little bad, because I feel like the Fia yarn is so special as well. Like the whole collection was just so special and near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to make something beautiful from it. And the turtle dove shawl is beautiful, but I feel like the Fia is not able to stand on its own solely because of the mohair. And I'm like, oh, I should have just gone with like that cream color. So I don't want to make the same mistake with this, but it's such a beautiful yarn. These might be like, some of these Ireland collection ones just might be in my stash for a while, solely because it's so beautiful. Like, I just don't know what to do. I know I can always unravel it, but I just want to, they're so special to me. I just want to make the thing, whatever it is, and just keep it. And just keep it as that forever. So I'm definitely putting a lot of pressure on myself. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just want it to be perfect. Is that too much to ask for? Obviously it is. Okay, last one. I don't mind making socks up. I'm just kidding. This one is the Emerald Isle color. I don't know if you can see it that well. It is like a very grassy Kelly green. There are some browns in it as well. It's just definitely like not a green that I would wear too often, like on my own skin, but I can see them as like a really nice special pair of socks for myself, because my husband's already got himself a pair of socks. But I think they would be a fun pair of socks. Like I said, I don't really wear this kind of green that often, but I still like it. It's still a beautiful green color. But I definitely can feel myself having like cozy wool socks on, wool cashmere socks on, whoosh, onto the table. I can definitely see myself having some cozy wool cashmere socks with this. So that's probably what that's going to end up being. Let me grab some more. Okay, so this is what I have left of my Fia yarn from that Ireland collection. It's a beautiful cream yarn with some light pink in it, some turquoise, some purple, mostly cream though. So it's a beautiful neutral pastel. I don't I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I also have some lofty lace from Teeny Button Studio. This one was intended to be a folklore. I think that's what it's called. The Folklore Blast by Fable Knitwear. It's the color Bartok. It's from her Anastasia collection. I love that movie. I don't know if you guys like that movie, but I love it. It's fun. I think Bartok is so funny. But the color is like a like a lilac pink, kind of silvery ish to it. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. You can always go on the Teeny Button Studio Instagram and take a look. But it's still a beautiful lace. Yeah, it's a lot of purple in there. So I will probably likely still do it. It's just a lot of other projects kind of got in the way. But I didn't buy that pattern yet, only for the sole reason of not knowing what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust this lighting situation. I will be right back. Okay, that is like way better. I mean, not great, but better. Let's see. I also have this this yarn. I think I still have to, I have more somewhere. I don't know where, but this is Hawthorne from Knit Picks. I personally dyed this yarn. I think I just used Rit dye because I wanted to see if I liked dyeing my own yarn, I guess. But I was like, you know what? There's just too much mathing, too much mixing. I don't want to do that. So, but this is it. And then I had this Suri alpaca from Woolberry Fiber Co. Because I held it with this color, it definitely stained it more. But I think the color was like toy shop or like a vintage something shop. It was one of the Christmas collections. I thought it was such a special yarn. It has like brown, purples, cream color in it. I had it in a pixie bonnet from Fable Knitwear, but I unraveled it because, again, at that time, I wasn't really gauge swatching, so it was a little too tight, and I have curly hair, which makes it a little bit floofier and definitely a little bit bigger. So a lot of stuff I kind of have to, like, I myself don't have a big head, but because I have a lot of hair, I need to account for that. And because I didn't gauge swatch either, it was too small for my head. So yeah, I also have extra, but I know I need to unravel more. And I think with this, I might just end up making a shawl. There is the Bennett sister shawl that I really like. I think that's what I had also intended to do with this yarn, was with half of it use what I can with the Suri and that purple yarn, and then use this on the other side. It's still up in the air. That's a potential. But I still think this is such a special yarn, even if it's dyed with this other yarn. So there's that. I have some leftover of the Roma yarn from Explorer Knits and Fibers. I had made it into a paysan blouse by Fable Knitwear. You're seeing a theme. I have some extras in like 10-gram balls, but I'm not gonna go grab those right now. But I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll make some socks of these too, because I made what I wanted to make already. But it's a fun, colorful yarn, a fun variegated yarn. I think they would make a lovely pair of socks. I can't remember how much I have left, but I have some left, so, and it's a good amount. So I think I'd be able to make myself a pair of socks. I also have this yarn that I wound up into 10-gram balls, or just about. This is a chocolate opal. I'm using this in my Daft Days cardigan. I just have the extras in there, but I have my Daft Days cardigan yarn in here. This is Irish Heather from Explorer Knits and Fibers. This is Deepest Desire from Sincere Sheep. Here, let me bring it out because I feel like it looks too dark in there. I have Mariposa from Penny Silver, I believe, Silver Pennies. They're also from the SoCal Fiber Fest, and then this yellow from Dialot Studio. So this is everything that's in there. Believe it or not, I actually have more in my stash, but I will be right back to do that. All right, y'all, sorry. I thought I was going to be able to finish this relatively quickly, but this is going to be one of my longest videos ever. Probably gonna be a pain in the butt to edit, but you know what? I'm here for you guys. I'm all about you guys, and y'all said you wanted it, so let's get into it even more. I also paused because I had to go grab more of my yarn. I didn't realize like how much I actually had, probably because they're like all in containers and in my closet, and because I can't see them. It's like the ADHD thing. It's like if you don't see it, you don't have it. Anyway, so I have a ton, and by a ton I mean mostly just a garment quantity or sweater. Oh my goodness, I'm out here dropping yarn. Anyway, this is the color red from, you guessed it, Sorella yarn. It's from her Taylor Swift collection. I can't remember what year, a couple years ago maybe, from the album Red. I made the A-Win blouse with it, but again, I was silly and did not gauge swatch, and I'm a tighter knitter than the designer at the very least, so I have to, did I say it was the A-Win blouse? It was the A-Win blouse. It's a beautiful, you can do long sleeve, short sleeve, square neckline blouse. I think it would still look absolutely beautiful in this color. I still want to make it. I just have to make it the right size. But you know, like it's that devastating moment when you realize it doesn't actually fit and then you want to break from it for a while. Same vibes. So that's that yarn. But I have enough to make it again. I frogged it, and it did take me a while to like wash it to try to get all those little curlies out. So that was sad. This is my box of more like stash slash like extra leftover yarn. So, oh look, here we are. Here's my other shiny happy cotton yarn. It was just further in my closet. I have a good amount of the Provence color from, again, Sorella yarn. It's the Surya Alpaca lace. I made a paysan blouse in it already. And this is just what I have left over. It's a beautiful color, but I feel like you can't really see like the true color because I'm losing light, I'm losing natural light, and I'm using whatever warm lights I have in my house. But I still have this one. I have this one as well from Sorella yarn. It is their silk sock base. I forgot, I think it's the color Horizon. I made the ribbed halter by Jessie May in this. I thought I was going to use all of it, but I had extra left over. But I just don't know what to do with it because it has such a good amount of silk in it. So I don't know, maybe a scrunchie because it has silk and it should be okay. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. If you guys have suggestions, maybe I'll put on the screen how much yardage I have left. But yeah, no, I don't know what to do with it right now. I have extra rose clay. This is the color I made my cargo in. So I have one full donut left and a little bit left here as well. Again, I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. We shall see. This is the actual like not touched yarn that's not like didn't get dyed with that purple color. From Woolberry Fiber Co. I think it was called like Vintage Choice Shop or something like that. But as you can see, it's got like this aged cream look to it with the purples in it. I think it was just a really special yarn, and I really wanted to have a Woolberry Fiber Co. yarn. I really also I enjoy how she dyes her yarns as well. Like I really do like a lot of hand dyed yarns. It's not always in the budget to get everybody's, and when it is, it's always Sorella. So but I really wanted to get this color. And again, I have more of this hawthorn fingering that I dyed myself. I can't remember the color. It was just like one of the purples from Rit Dye, but yeah, I wanted to see how I can do it. But I have this and whatever I showed you earlier too. So I am thinking about making it into a shawl just because it is a special suri and I think it deserves to be displayed more in like that kind of look, because while I did like my like pixie bonnet, I just don't think the color is realistic for like what I usually wear. And if I do make another one, I want to make it with colors that I normally wear so that way I can match it up with all of my outfits. Like maybe the Murphy's Brown Bread, you know, like that yarn with the dark mustard color, like that is more up my alley as far as colors go for things on my head. Like that could work. But this I feel like should be something that's like a statement piece, you know? So there's that. I have some extra Bordeaux yarn. This is from Knitting for Olive. I used this to make my grandpa the Hans Holm sweater. I made a modeled version for him. The version was in Lion Brand Superwash Merino in the color Mushroom, I believe. And then I just have a good amount of Bordeaux of the soft silk mohair left over. I can't remember the weight, but I know that I had also thought about using this for like the headband, the Augustine's pattern headband. And I have more Knitting for Olive left over. It is the colorway Autumn. It's the, I used it for my Athelian vest recently, and no, I think it was just that. I don't think I used mohair in my baby's bonnet. I used the leftover merino for my baby's bonnet, but this one is just the mohair. So I have a good amount of it left. It's like almost the whole thing. So this one too, I thought about just using it in other things, or like potentially mixing these two together for like a darker orange marled look. So there are those. Actually, I forgot to show this one. This one is also from Teeny Button Studio. It is a worsted weight yarn. It is from the Anastasia collection. It is Journey to the Past, I believe. I think I got 2 skeins, and I made my grandma a Sophie shawl. I probably made the smallest size. I don't know why now that I think about it, because I could have made her a bigger size. But I mean, she still wears it. She uses it all the time. It's beautiful. It's got some blues, some purples in there. I can't remember the weight of what I have left, but I just don't know what to do with the rest of it either. Like I said, I don't really make too many worsted weight patterns, so I don't really know what I would make with it. Maybe like a small baby beanie, or like, I don't know, maybe some mismatched socks. Maybe I can make her some worsted weight socks for the winter to match her shawl, and then just add a contrasting color with it. I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. Because yeah, I don't know what to do with it. It's such a nice yarn too, and I don't want to throw it away. So let me know if you guys have any ideas. So there's that. I also have another, it's like a medium-sized container, but it's a lot of the same yarn. So I have this Hue and Me yarn. Ooh, the sun's coming right in my eye. I have this Hue and Me yarn by Lion Brand. It's a bulky weight yarn in the color Terra. It's in collaboration with Two of Wands. It's like, oh yeah, it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. Not a super fun experience to knit with, I'm not gonna lie, because of the squeakiness. I have such an aversion to squeaky. I have my I hate styrofoam rubbing against each other. Like that feels like nails on a chalkboard kind of feeling. Same thing with anything that feels squeaky or is squeaky. It's just a sensory thing. But this is going to be a gift. I actually started knitting up the neckline already. It's just easier for the person I'm going to give it to like take care of. So there's that. I bought enough sweaters quantity for that specific sweater. I think it's the holiday sweater by Petite Knit. It's like a really basic sweater, or the novice sweater. It's a novice sweater, chunky edition. There you go. It is, let me see the yardage. It's 137 yards per 125 gram balls. So I have a good amount of those, but it has an intention, and I was going to make it a year-ish, 2 years ago, but I got pregnant, and then all of a sudden everything knitting was like vile to me, and like it made me feel like gross and weird and icky and sick. So I didn't knit for a while. So I could not obviously use this, but my goal is to use it this year. I'm like knitting on it slowly because it's a bulky weight yarn. It's knit up with big needles. So I'm hoping to give it to that person for their birthday. The next, but that's like majority of what's taking up that container because it's not like too big of a container. It's not as big as where all my other yarns are. But the next yarn is Lion Brand as well. It's the Wool Ease. It's, what color is it? It's gray heather. Pretty basic. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. Again, just easier for the person I'm gifting it to maintain. It was also supposed to be around the same time as this sweater, given around that time. I really wanted to get it out of my stash. I don't know if I'll be able to get this one out of my stash this year, but it is supposed to be for a hoodie by Knititude. So that's really all that I have left in this container. Oh, no, I lied. I have some Woolies Thick and Quick. I have this Tweety yarn. I can't recall what I was going to do with it, but I know one Woolies is enough for a beanie, so maybe I'll just make beanies for people. And then I have another one in this cream color. I think my intention was to make a vest with it, the Happy Hygge vest, but I would need 2 of them to equal the gauge that she has. Yeah, or a lot more yarn. Yeah, no, I would need to hold these double, and that kind of gets hard on your hands after a while, so maybe just beanies. Anyway, in this container I also have one donut of Wool in the Gang, Crazy Sexy Wool in tweed gray. It's 87 yards. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I made the Williamsburg sweater by Kara Ong. I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce it. It's nice, but I don't know if I want it anymore because of, you know, I didn't know anything. So like the unspun yarn, how like easy it is to pill and maintain. It's beautiful. Like it feels nice. It doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel like I'm overheating in it. I don't know if it's for me right now anymore, this stage of my life. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with it because I only have one ball of it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought about unraveling that sweater, but then again, I wouldn't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe make really plushy socks for Christmas. I don't know, but again, it's roving basically, so I don't know what to do unless I find someone who wants it and then we can switch or they can buy it. But I'm not really, I don't know, like purchasing and buying like with, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's there. So, all right, guys, I'm almost done. Probably, yeah, I'm almost done, actually. These are my plant fiber yarns, so there's not really that many. Oh, wait, no. I have some right behind me. cones. Cones. And more cones. I feel like this could be a cute thumbnail. Hey, I got my cones. Cone life. Anyway, my husband got these for me too, like a couple years ago for my birthday. And that was when I got pregnant and I, again, wasn't knitting as much. So that was just not the vibes for me. Why do these feel... Anyway, okay, let me just get into it. I was like, why does this feel so like light? Like it's not fingering, it's like a light fingering. Anyways, this is from Woolly Knit. This is the British wool cone for 500 grams. The color is chestnut brown. I do have plans for each of these cones. Well, 2 of the cones. So this one I want to be the Eva cardigan. I might have to get something, I don't know. I will probably have to hold a double, more than likely. I hope I don't have to add another strand to it. I feel like that's what it's gonna have to be, of something. I don't know what, but yeah, I jumped on the craze. But I love the smell of it, surprisingly, because every time I block my stuff, I'm like, oh, it smells like sheeps, but what do I expect? It's wool. But that's what I want to make with this. I hope I have enough for the full cardigan. I've been seeing like more people wearing cardigans that kind of have that same vibe, I guess, as the Eve cardigan. And every time I look at someone, I'm like, man, I want that cardigan, but it's going to take so long. And I really want to prioritize my Daft Days cardigan because I know that one will just bring me so much joy in the springtime. So I want to prioritize that, but this is also going to be a cardigan as well. This one is the same. That's a 500 British wool cone, 500 grams, in Loden green. This one I want to be a Cozy Classic Light by Jessie May. Just a simple raglan sweater in a fingering weight. So that's what I would like this to be. I'll probably have more once I'm done with it, but I don't have any plans just yet for the rest of it, but we'll see. You'll see how much I have left. And then the next one is the color Fenland Tweed. I don't have any plans for this one just yet. I did think about a cardigan with this as well, but I don't think I'd want it in a cardigan anymore. So this one is kind of up in the air. I don't know what I would like to do with it. We'll have to see. Imagine a marled Cargill sweater. That could be cute. Or like hold it with that cream mohair I have. Could like add little dimension to them. It could look like little in Spanish they're called orejas, but I think that's a French pastry as well. Palmiers. It's the one that look like little hearts. Or like in Spanish, we call them ears because they look like little ears together as well. But I guess that could be cute. Maybe that's an idea. So I have like an actual like neutral brown sweater somewhere. Yeah, that could be a cute idea. But this one is kind of still up in the air though. Let's see. You can kind of see it. All right, now we have the plant-based fibers. This one is Araucania yarns, Papagayo. Papagayo. I bought this at my local yarn store. I thought it looked really cool. I like the dimensions. It's a DK weight yarn. It's 75% cotton, 25% acrylic, and it has 328 yards for 100 grams. But now, I think my intention was to make it in like a cardigan, It's sort of it is like a chain style. I don't know if you can really tell or see it there. But I liked the dimensions and the color changes. But I don't think I see it as a garment anymore. I can see it definitely as like a market bag, so that might be what it ends up being. I have a few bits in here that I can't really see myself utilizing for garments, so I might end up holding them together to make another Etta bag. Like all of these are Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. This one I think was basil. I've used this to make my baby and my baby cousin onesies. So this is just what I have left over now. I have this one. I forgot what I was starting off with it, but obviously I didn't like it, so I ripped it back. This one is sage, and this one is in the color rose. I don't know what I started with this either, but I obviously didn't like it. But it's Yarn Bee Bambootiful. It is, let me see, it's 50% cotton, 50% viscose from bamboo. It is very soft. It's lovely. I just don't think I want to use it anymore for anything. So might be market bags, hold double to make that Aran weight. I don't know about, the sage looks like kind of yellowy on camera. But anyway, I might hold double to make an interesting market bag. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Those ones are kind of like up in the air, so we shall see. This one is Blue Sky Fibers and their worsted weight cotton. Might end up making some more coasters with this because I have a good amount left, potentially for like 1 or 2 coasters. Not that much, honestly, but enough. And then I have some Lion Brand Pima cotton yarn. And this is it, guys, I promise. Almost done. I have this full one in the color vintage. I think this is about a full skein as well. And this little bit left. I also have the same yarn in this orange color. I mentioned making the vacation vest in that eucalyptus green, and I've contemplated utilizing these to make another vacation vest, potentially like the cream as the main color with the orange, or the orange with the cream as like the stripes. Still up in the air about it though. I really do like the pattern. I think it's really nice and breezy and fun. So I think an autumn version could be nice, or like a transitional piece. Could be cute. But I could definitely see me wearing it more if I had the orange as a base and utilizing the cream as a stripe, but then I won't use up all the yarn. In which case I could probably make coasters and then over dye it if I really wanted, or just gift them like that. It's a nice color. It's a neutral plain color, so I don't know, we shall see. But that's all I have. That's my whole stash. I thought if anything this video was only going to be an hour, but I forgot about some of the yarns that I had tucked away in my closet, like my plant fiber ones. So that was a lot. Thanks for sticking with me if you're still here. Everything has a plan, everything has a purpose. It's just definitely that break, it really pushed me back a lot in all the projects I had in mind, but that's okay. I got a cute baby out of it. He's adorable. The art of discovery is like so cute to witness and to see him grow up and everything like that. Like, I'm not saying like, ugh, because of him I can't do everything I want. It's more like, you know I had the pause and that was really great. I'm definitely ready to keep making more and to really jump into all of my makes and my creative process. But now I'm starting to think about wanting to make my own designs, and that's just going to require different yarn than what I have. So we'll see. I might end up having to give some stuff away, but that's okay. You know, I feel like we're all in different places of our life and definitely want to adapt a better it's not my like I'm mindful of my purchases because they all have, for the most part, mostly every part of my stash has a plan. It's more mindful of like this rate at which I can knit. I definitely don't think I have as much as others, but I don't want to play like that comparing game because it's more like what is right for your life. It's not filling up my closet. I'm not running out of space. But it's just, it gets overwhelming to know that I have that much without having made the projects that I wanted, if that makes sense. So we'll see how I do this year. I already do have intentions of purchasing some of Zorella's new collection to make something, but you know what, now seeing some of the stuff I have that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm actually going to make it anymore, like maybe I'll just go ahead and utilize that because they're still beautiful colors. I just need to make it up in something. Like I was going to buy mohair from her, but I have the teeny button mohair that I'm like kind of iffy if I'm still going to make that folklore blouse. So I think I might just go ahead and use that, like just being mindful in that way. So that way I can utilize my yarn and not over consume and feel constantly overwhelmed by not finishing something. But yeah, that's it for now. I mean, I might still end up buying stuff, like I said, to go with these. But I think that's it for now. Also, I want to buy more plant-based fibers. So I can't say I'm not going to buy stuff, but I'm just trying to be more mindful, even though everything does have a plan. Maybe I just need to, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But that's my stash. That's my stash, guys. I really love my little collection of yarn. I do need to get through some of it. I do think also part of it is because some of the yarn, like the yarn was going to be used for gifts for people that I wasn't able to do at a specific time. So I think that's also kind of like lurking in the back of my mind. Honestly, I don't know why I'm overthinking it, but I am. But that's my whole stash. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for sticking with me if you're still here. And this video was not meant to be like, look at everything I have, just to share. So I hope nobody felt that way. But yeah, also if you guys have ideas for some of the yarns that I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do, leave some suggestions in the comments below. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a great time knitting, and I hope you guys have a great best of your day. Good best of your day? Yeah, okay. Bye. See you guys next time.